Hello, WordNerds! Happy Sunday, and thank you so much for joining us on today's Sunday special. This is a bit of an extra special, as we wanted to announce some changes that we're coming up with for the channel, and then just kind of spend some time chatting with all of you about any books you've been loving, or TV shows, or how your writing is going, because we haven't had a party in a while, so this seemed like as good of an excuse as any. So to kick things off, we wanted to just kind of jump into if there's anything in particular you have been reading, watching, loving recently. Emma, you are first.
So I've been reading a lot of like advanced copies of things and a lot of graphic novels and stuff. But I'm currently reading Aurora Rising by Amy Coffin and Jay Kristoff. So yeah, I'm about halfway through, I think, or a little over halfway.
Is it great? Tell me it's great.
Okay. It is really good. It's very different from Illuminae, but I feel like it still has a lot of the like humor and like action and like group dynamics and stuff. So it's really fun. I'm enjoying it.
I'm running his event when he comes to Vancouver in a couple of weeks, and I'm so excited. I'm just like, I don't know what to say. I want the book so bad.
Yeah, it's really good. And then actually today I watched like probably an entire season of Barry because I have like the HBO subscription right now for Game of Thrones. So I was like, let me watch the other HBO shows I've been wanting to watch. So
I've heard really good things.
Yeah, it was really interesting. So I'm like caught up now. I've watched a lot of it this weekend.
Weekend well spent. Rachel, how about you?
I actually just read the graphic novel for Handmaid's Tale and really enjoyed it. Yeah, because I've tried to read Handmaid's Tale multiple times, and I'm just not a Margaret Atwood person. But then I saw that there was a graphic novel, and I was like, like just kind of, check it out, whatever. And I'm just really liking it. I think that format for that story was good for me. So that was like something fun that I read last week. And I'm currently in the middle of The Poppy War by R.H. Kong. And oh my God, I have been sleeping on this book, let me tell you. Like, it came out last year, I heard good reviews, and some of my friends read it, were like, oh, it's really good. It's like adult fantasy, what have you. And I was kind of like, maybe, I don't know, like whatever. And then it finally came out in softcover, so I picked it up, and I'm flying through it. It is so good. But apparently the ending's pretty traumatic, so I'm just
I've heard good things, nothing specific, but it's the only thing that's kind of held me off because a lot of people seem to love it.
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot of all over the place reading these days. The recent one I loved was Daisy Jones and the Six, which was Taylor Jenkins Reid's next one after Evelyn Hugo, which I didn't like as much, but it was still really good and awesome in audiobook. But I'm also rereading A Darker Shade of Magic, listening to Ivory and Bone, and still reading through Witches of Ash and Ruin.
I love Ivory and Bone. It's such a different book.
Is that like the cave person one?
It's like the gender swapped Pride and Prejudice in like
caveman.
Not caveman.
No, prehistoric. Like what?
It's really good.
Really? Okay. I
really good.
When it first came out, I was like, that looks so weird. But then everyone was like, no, it's really good. I'm like, are you actually like, really? But like, I trust you guys in your opinion. So like,
I'm still at the beginning, and I'd misremembered it as like prehistoric Romeo and Juliet. So I was having like darker feelings about where I was going to go. So this is better.
It's Pride and Prejudice, not Romeo and Juliet. It's like literally gender swapped Pride and Prejudice.
So weird.
And then as for watching, I think all of my life recently has been Endgame, Game of Thrones.
Yeah, basically.
Endgame was amazing. Game of Thrones is intense. I'm just going to jump over the comments. Lots of hellos. Jody's reading Hot Dog Girl.
That cover is adorable.
It's so cute.
I know nothing about it, but the cover is adorable.
Yeah, there's like this last week, there was so many that came out, all like super cute contemporaries. And I never read contemporaries, like I want to read them all.
I could definitely feel like a contemporary binge coming on for me.
Yeah, well, it's like summer's coming. Right. The perfect. That's when I always want to read contemporaries, is in the summer.
And Griswold has started Gemina, so they can jump in and read Obsidia with Book Club, which is amazing. That is June. This month is the Bells, I believe. Yes. Jody says Daisy Jones is great on audio. That would be the best way to read that book, and it really is perfect because it's like an interview sort of and they have a full cast for the audiobook. So like every single different voice has their own narrator. It's really well done. Cool. You can tell the publisher was all like, Evelyn Hugo is great. Have anything you want. Anya is reading reading a beautiful self-published novel called Racing the Sun. And Jody says May 7th is a huge release day for books.
Oh, yes, it is.
What's coming out? I'm so behind on all of these things.
Actually, now that I think...
I feel like May 14th is... Well, May 7th is Aurora Rising comes out May 7th. But like I've read like, I think 3 different advanced copies that are all due... or they're all come out May 14th.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I think it's the 14th.
Yeah,
that's like
Don't Date Rosa Santos, Red, White, and Royal Blue, and there's something about Sweetie all come out May 14th. I know that.
Oh, really? Okay, because We Hunt the Flame comes out on the 14th, and there's The Candle and the Flame, but I think that I don't know if that's the 7th or the 14th. But I'm also running that event at my store, so we have it now.
Yeah, we're definitely like publishing's picking up like as we get later into the year. So.
Yeah. I literally have a list that I wrote. I was at work the other day and it was like dead. So I just went to Goodreads and then just like was like May books, like 2019. And I just was like writing all of them down. And like the majority of them are now. So I heard such good things about Red, White, and Royal Blue. And I really want to get a copy.
It was great. So I guess this is as good a time as any to kind of explain what is happening on this channel moving forward. We'll have kind of a video going into, not specifics, but summarizing for everybody or for anyone who wasn't watching today on Tuesday as well. And that is our next video because we are actually shrinking down our number of weekly videos. The goal is to do, I'm taking this from what I said in Tuesday's video, fewer videos, but better videos. That we're going to take a little more time to like build up the content and do longer videos and get more in depth into different topics and do more collabs and guest blogs and all of that stuff. So we're just kind of giving ourselves a little more breathing room to get creative and come up with great stuff for you guys. So the new schedule will be Tuesday and Thursday for videos, Sunday chat, not changing at all. We're here forever. And then we may occasionally do weekday write-ins as well, just kind of randomly whenever makes sense schedule-wise so that anyone who can't always come on Sundays has some more opportunities and just more write-ins all around because they're great.
Yeah, I'm excited for this new format. I think it's going to be better for all of us. I think it's going to be better for the audience and our channel. Because I know one of the big reasons was that a lot of the time it would be like, oh my gosh, like I completely forgot, like today's my day and I've been so busy this week and like I guess I'll just film something and slap it together and here's content. And there's like a weird thing on YouTube that's like how much content is too much and how much is too little, and it's like this weird kind of like interesting balance that you have to do. And so I think now instead of having to like constantly come up with something new, we'll have more time to like take our time and make a better result, a better video for the channel.
Yeah, and we've been doing this for so long. It's going to be 6 years this fall. So, there's definitely like an element of burnout that can happen, like trying to do, videos every single week. And you start to feel like you've already done all of the topics and you can't think of new things. And it's like, oh, I have a video due in 2 days. Like I got to come up with something. And so like you don't get to spend as much time maybe coming up with something like new and unique that you haven't done before. So,
And also like, go ahead.
It's fine.
I was just going to say like, being totally upfront with you guys, it's also like our subscriber count hasn't really climbed much over the last several months, and we know YouTube algorithms have changed to favor longer form content, whereas we've always kind of gone by the Vlog Brothers, not like strictly, but the 4-minute rule, and like so we just kind of want to see what else might make sense and play around a little bit.
Yeah, it's so weird. I guess that is kind of just like the cycle of everything, but it's so interesting to me, at least, like watching the like analytics and like that's not something that I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to have, for like my own channel or something, like I have to have this many videos and I have to have this kind of schedule and I have to have this many views per video and tag this and do whatever. But like it's interesting to see what gets favored and when. It's like at the very beginning it was always like, the short videos, like that's what captures people's attention and people don't want to be bored and whatever. And now it's like, even if I see a subscription that I love, post like a 20-minute video, I'm like, well, guess I'm going to be sitting here for 20 minutes and watching the whole thing. Like if it's like,
you never actually watch like sitcom length things just in a row on YouTube.
Exactly. Well, that's also something I think some of the editing format we're going to be doing is going to be changing, having more like cards in the videos, having a different type of ending. So it makes it easier to like find other associated videos. We're going to be like kind of shrinking down / kind of like reorganizing our playlist just to make everything a little bit more cohesive and easier to find.
Shorter intro as well, so it's less.
That's right.
We don't want people just jumping away right as soon as the word nerd stuff comes up. So we're just, I don't know, we're playing around. We're going to see what works. So.
Yeah, so we plan to do this kind of like through the summer, and then if that works out or you guys like it, we'll keep it. And if not, I guess we'll have to reformat something else. But for the foreseeable future, this is going to be our new schedule.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll also be doing like more stuff together, so it's not always just like one of us on a thing. Like you'll more often see multiple word nerds' opinions on a topic if there's more than one that makes sense to jump into that. And I don't know, I'm excited about it. But we'd love to hear from all of you about any topics you'd like to see us cover more. I know Jody had said she'd love to see more self-publishing content on the channel, which I would love as well.
Yeah, well, also, like, I think it's good to, again, with like people kind of having like similar opinions or similar videos or getting to do like their take on something, because definitely I've gone through and been like, oh, I want to do this topic, and then, you know, like a week later, another WordNerd does it, because like, we don't really tell each other our topics ahead of time unless we're like really excited about it. So then it's just like, oh man, like that person did it. Like, I guess I can't do it and you have to do something else. But this might give us more opportunity to kind of like expand or have like a counter argument, or even have a video where, you know, two of us are in it together and doing something like, you know, bantering, or here's this and here's that. So I think that'll be good instead of just, like one and done. And it's hard to do that too when you have so many videos on such a regular basis. Of eventually there's going to be overlap anyways, so you might as well like make a good solid video or of a good solid argument instead of just like, yeah, this is like sort of my opinion, it's 2 minutes long, okay, bye.
Anya said, I like live streams, but the problem is I don't actually like videos. I set time aside for live stream, but don't do regular videos. Then nothing will change for you. You're all set. I'm just looking through, trying to figure out how many videos we have total, but it doesn't seem to want to tell me anymore. Like how many videos we have done in this 6-year span, but Megan's not here and I don't know how to find this information. So.
I wonder if I can find it. On my phone, hold on.
Basically, we've covered a lot of things, and I'm sure we'll go back to some, like, I think I've done one where I looked at like an earlier topic I'd covered, and like 5 years later, what's my opinion on it? I'd love to see more of that. Of like, we can definitely jump back into some stuff we've done before. And like publishing has changed so much in 5.5 years. It's
so on looking at the YouTube app for ours, it says 1.7K videos. So approximately 1,700 videos.
That's unreal.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That is pretty outrageous.
Yeah.
Yep. That'd be good. Like sometimes I'll sit down and like plan out videos and be like, okay, you know, what's going to be the next, 5 of my videos, and like I'll try and like come up with topics much in advance. I'll try and like pre-film. I'll try and like get everything done. And then sometimes life catches up with you, and then you don't have a video that week, and then you're like, there's not going to be any filming being done. Sorry. And then it's like, and then there's like a gap, and it's just weird. So hopefully this will let us have a little bit more to having more time to plan things.
Yeah, that's kind of it. Like, it's pretty simple. So we kind of go back to talking about stuff, I guess.
This is our announcements. Time to party.
Vanessa says, but I love the current format that I get to hear from all the WordNerds. You'll still hear from us, just slightly different schedule. We're still here every Sunday.
I think our videos are just going to be more spaced out. That's all. We'll all still be here.
Yeah.
Even though there's only 3 of us here today.
Yeah. But you'll see each of us like every 3 weeks, basically. So be 2 people per week.
Yeah.
And honestly, like we all just, I think as time has gone on, like our lives have just gotten busier, with like people having kids and jobs and school and publishing more books and all of that. It's like easier for us. I think we all feel like we would rather slow things down and free up some time for ourselves rather than just get so burnt out that we have to like stop doing this, because none of us want to stop doing this. We want to keep doing it. So
yeah.
And my fear has always been like we've seen other channels with similar formats where they just like don't announce anything, and one by one the different vloggers just drop away and don't really say anything, and there's just random gaps. I mean, like that would be a nightmare for me. It would just stress me out to no end.
For sure.
So Vanessa asks, "Are all the word nerds married now?" No.
Nope. No, I am not. Also, I don't think Desiree is either.
If so, she's been keeping secrets from us.
And Toli says, I like the shorter videos, but I think collaborations would be awesome. And not all of the videos are going to be super long. Like some will be longer. Like it's just giving us more flexibility. So whatever the video calls for, it will be. We're just not constraining ourselves by it, essentially.
Yeah, I'm actually really interested to do more skits, which is something I've kind of like had my eye on for a while, but they usually take a while to film. Like I need like a good chunk of time, and editing them sometimes is a little tricky. So it might be, you know, like a 3-minute video, but it might have taken me 3 weeks to properly do. So in that case, you know, just different kinds of like higher quality, not necessarily like super long.
And like I'd love for us to be able to do more of the types of videos we tend to do for Nano's channel. Like the more involved stuff that like we put our hearts and souls into, but we just can't do that for Nano, plus each of us doing a video every day here. So it's, well, like we did it, but it was
I love the videos that we do and with collabs. Like they're so fun. Like the one that we do with For the Words, we're like fighting monsters. The ones we did for Nano, just like running around and like being superheroes, and like it's really fun. Like I love those kind of collab videos.
Megan and I have like a couple of things we want to collab on the next time we're together to like make some stuff, and it's just so much easier when like you don't have to do a video every week, and you're like, oh, I have to film this and I have to film something for next week, and and just be like focus on one thing for a couple
I'm seeing Erin on the 15th, so hopefully the two of us can do something.
Oh my god, I want to see all you guys again. It's been so long. We all live very far away from each other. Well, I live far away from everybody. Some of you guys.
But you also kind of live the closest to somebody.
You know, oh my gosh, that's true. That's true.
You're definitely closer to Erin than I am to Megan.
That is true.
Anya asks, will you announce the write-ins in live stream before you do them, or will they kind of be like a wild write-in appeared? It's probably like we'll give you notice whenever we can. If it's short notice that we can do one, it may be that too. But of course, we'll always tell you in advance as soon as we know. It's just, it'll probably be a figuring it as we go along thing, or just kind of checking in at the beginning of the week, see if anyone's around. If not, So it's good. We're going to wing it.
We usually try to tweet about write-ins too. So
yeah, if you're not watching like daily videos, Twitter's a good place for news. So I'm going to try to be a bit better on Facebook as well. Good segue away. Jody says, Endgame just passed Titanic in terms of sales. My heart just broke a little. I don't know. Titanic had a really good run. Like
it's been a long time.
And I felt like Endgame was one of the best like movie watching experiences I'd ever had. Yeah. So
really? It was like a communal movie watching experience.
Yeah.
Like
it was
the
an
whole theater.
For sure.
Yeah. The whole theater was like a community. We were all experiencing it together.
Yeah.
I have not seen it yet, but I have been spoiled, and I just like a lot of my friends were like, like the movie was like whatever.
It's so good.
I haven't heard anybody say that. Yeah.
I think it's fantastic. No. I think it was so well done. It like tied in like so many of the other movies, and like tied in plot lines I didn't know they were going to tie in, and it was very unexpected. It wasn't like I had heard so many theories and people were so certain of what was going to happen, and it wasn't what people thought it was going to be. So
and I also don't think like even if I'd been spoiled on it, I don't even think I would have enjoyed it less. Like it's not about what happened, it's about how you got there. It was great.
And they like recaptured the humor of the first Avengers movie again, which I was really happy about, because I felt like that was really missing in like Age of Ultron and Infinity War.
Yeah.
So you got to have like the humor again, which was impressive because it is like there's so much darkness too in the story. But I'm really excited to see if it passes Avatar because like who cares about Avatar? But it is the highest grossing movie in history.
For me, I felt like Avatar was like an event in its time as well. Like it earned its spot, but it's had its time.
Yeah.
There was
I was talking to my husband about it while we were eating tonight. We were talking about how like Avatar was this movie where like people talked about like, oh, you have to see it because like it's visually beautiful, but no one ever talked about like, oh, it's a good movie or like the story was so great, you know, like in the way that people like really are talking about Endgame.
I saw a thing online that was a joke about how basically Endgame was gonna top Avatar, and how someone was like, well, Zoe Saldana is the one who's like winning right now. She's part of both franchises that are grossing for the highest ever.
In my life is like a super sci-fi year with an Avatar movie because there's more coming. Someone with Gamora in it, and then a Star Trek movie in 1 year, and then she just becomes queen of everything.
Yeah, seriously.
Now Star Trek movies are a thing, and blah, blah, blah.
Also, sorry, like just pop on like Avatar for like 1 second. Emma, because you're close to Disney and Universal, are you close to the point that has the Avatar world?
Yes.
Is that the right park? Okay.
Yes.
It's what is it? Animal Kingdom?
Yeah, it's Animal Kingdom. Yeah.
I know like nothing about Disney parks. I'm sorry for everyone watching.
It's Animal Kingdom, and it's like really cool. I'm like, I don't really care about this movie, but this is pretty. Like, there's one of the 2 rides is really amazing. Like, I feel like it's really innovative.
Like Flight
with
of Passage,
technology.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like watched a whole like thing on it, so and I was like,
really cool. Wow. Yeah, I know it's so weird. It's like, why did they decide to make a whole theme park land based on this? But it works.
Okay, so like just saying, everyone like listening just has to watch. You two, both of you, it's so good. This kind of like film critic YouTuber named Jenny Nicholson does an amazing. It's an hour long, and I have watched it multiple times, which just shows you that I will watch long videos. And it's called an excruciating deep dive into the Avatar theme park or something like that. And it's her going to the Avatar theme park and like participating in everything, getting all the food, going on all the rides, and her just like doing this grand like expose on it, and it's really funny. She also raised up a couple points how like everyone knows Avatar, but they're not like deeply engaged with it. So there's like a bit of a disconnect within like the people that visit the park. So I was like, oh, that's really interesting to think about. But I'm like, have you been there? Like, what do you think of it? And you're saying like, oh yeah, it's really cool. But like, no one really like cared about the movie. Yeah. Like no one said it was a good movie. So I'm like,
It's once again, like with the park, it's like, I think people are excited about it because things look cool. Like there's there's like a dark ride where you're like on a boat and there's like the bioluminescence, and there's a really amazing animatronic of a Na'vi in there, and it's really cool. And then like Flight of Passage, it was like a lot of innovative like ride technology, and it's a really amazing ride. But yeah, once again, no one's like, I just love Avatar so much. I'm so excited for this park. Like they were when Harry Potter World opened. People were like, I love Harry Potter, you know?
Yeah.
Well, World was even more like, it opened like, what, 8 years after the movie came out?
Yeah.
What? I'm taking my children to this who were not born when this was a thing, let alone old enough to watch it.
Yeah, right.
They also have like really odd merchandise. Like you can get like a Na'vi tail.
So bad. Oh, like the food is the funniest thing. It's just like stuff that's dyed blue.
The food is actually really good.
Was it there's something that was like I think I also saw this on the internet. It's like just like rubber balls and like pens and like random stuff that's just like wrapped in vines. That is the funniest thing that I've seen because I'm like, yes.
Yeah. No, the food is actually like the little quick service restaurant is my favorite quick service restaurant at Disney World.
Really?
It's like rice bowls with different like protein. It's like really like light, healthy, like tasty food in a theme park. I'm like, wow, this is because it's not like burgers and stuff. But yeah, the merchandise is funny. The funniest thing is when you see like a family like walking around wearing like the tails, and you're like, why did you buy a set of those for the whole family?
Like, yeah, like Disney, you know, Mickey Mouse ears or whatever I can see, but like Na'vi tails, and we'll be like,
Oh,
and they're like in a different park. They're like in Epcot wearing them, and you're like, that's not even the park that the land is in.
I mean, you do you, man. Like, you probably spend $40 a piece on them, but like,
Jody says the pineapple cream cheese lumpia in Avatar Land is so good.
Ooh,
what?
I haven't tried that.
That sounds amazing.
Food at Disney is just like an experience of its own.
So good. I go for the food most of the time.
All right, we're gonna do something else to talk about. We did not expect to have 3 of us here, so we've been vamping for a bit. Someone give us a topic.
So you control the channel now.
Great Price said, I think this is about Endgame. I thought it was good in the moment, but the more I think critically about it, the more I dislike it. I did that to myself a bit on whatever the last Fantastic Beasts movie was.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I just let myself enjoy it. Like, I'm not going to think myself out of having fun if I can help it. But
yeah, you can also like let go of sometimes. We're like so focused on like it has to be this way, and like if they don't address this, then it's ruined. But then like you can take a step back and be like, you know what? It was just a fun movie. Like it might have been ridiculous, or they might have like not tied everything up, but like, did you have fun watching it?
No. That's what I'm trying to do with Game of Thrones. Of like, no expectations. It is what it is.
I heard that a lot with Sabrina. And I watched the first couple episodes of the season, like really liked it, but that was also because I was being forced to watch it by one of my friends. So I never watched the rest of it because I just never watch TV, even if I really like something like the Sabrina show. And then afterward, they're like, yeah, season 2 is real weird. Like they went all out for it. And I'm like, okay, like, oh, sure. So now I know that if I ever continue with that, just to like not hope for anything.
So is that like not a good weird?
I think it was a good weird. She was kind of saying that just like they went for it. Like there was they didn't hold back anything. And I'm kind of like, I don't really know what
I stopped watching Riverdale after it got.
Yeah, it's like a CW show. They went for it. I'm like, okay, like, sure.
Yes. I still want to try the CW's new Charmed because I loved old Charmed so much. There are too many TV shows, basically.
Seriously. Again, I'm like not a TV person, but I want to watch so much of it. And I feel like, I'm one of the families, like the 8 families in North America that does not have Netflix. I feel like as soon as I get Netflix, it's just going to be a downward spiral, like real fast. So I'm like holding off like on purpose because I'm like, once it happens, I'm never leaving my house again.
In other random TV news, I saw this week, or that next week is going to be the Brooklyn Nine-Nine heist episode. So I am ready.
I'm like 2 weeks behind. I need to get caught up. I feel like I've gotten so bad. Like normally I watch a lot of TV, but especially like this last semester was really busy, and just like being back in school in general, I haven't been watching as much. And so I feel like I'm like halfway through seasons of a whole bunch of shows, and I'm like, I need to finish like all these shows, and I bounce between them. Like I can't focus on one long enough. So like watch an episode of like Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and then an episode of like Schitt's Creek, which I just started, and which is a ridiculous show. Yeah. And I'm still like a season and a half into One Day at a Time. I need to finish that. Like there's just so many things I need to finish.
Well, like, one of my friends loves Drag Race. And I'm kind of like, like I wasn't like really into it. I wasn't like against it or anything. I'm just kind of like, I don't know. And then last weekend I got really, really depressed. So I just sat in bed and like started watching Drag Race. And now I'm so into it, which is the bad thing. Cause now I'm going to be like, wow, time to watch, 10 episodes or 10 seasons worth. And like, no, I can't do that. So now I'm like, all right, could pace myself.
Eric says, Crimes of Grindelwald was a bit of a wreck, to be honest, but Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 3 was a little better once you look back at some other seasons.
How could you see the episode?
I did not think The Darkness was as bad as everyone made it out.
I didn't think so either. Like we rewatched it because we watched it on like a crappy TV on vacation because we had to watch it. So we rewatched it again when we got home, and like The Darkness felt deliberate to me. Like it's just chaos of battle. In the darkness, nothing important was happening. It was just supposed to be tense.
Like I feel like, I don't know, like I didn't feel like it was much different from a lot of like action and fantasy things I've watched. Like I feel like a lot of times, and like part of it's that like my TV's kind of getting older and I need a new one, so my light balance isn't great. But I feel like a lot of stuff I watch, I have trouble seeing what's happening. So I didn't feel like it was any different than a lot of other things. So I was like, oh, I'm having as much trouble seeing things as I always do. And like but like the first half I felt like was really dark, but the second half I could see like perfectly fine.
Which is when most of the like
important stuff happened. So, before that, it was just like chaos. People are dying.
It was trying to give you the feeling of battle, I think. I didn't like. I know a lot of people hated that episode. I liked it. I'm just not sure what to expect. Like if all of my expectations for the rest of the season will be met, and I'm trying to make that okay.
I liked this episode. I didn't like the first episode of the season very much. I felt like just nothing really happened.
Yeah.
And I think like I went into this being like totally fine with only 6 episodes because I figured, you know, like the last season was 7 episodes and I was basically like, these 2 seasons together make up like a book. And so it makes sense that it's 2 shorter ones, but I really think they should have expanded this season and made it longer because everything does feel like it's happening very quickly. And I feel like they could have taken a little bit more time. And I don't know why they didn't make it longer because, like, you know, HBO would have given them more if they wanted. So
yeah, maybe it's because it's
interesting because I feel like it's been 7 seasons of like build up, and now it's like 6 episodes of resolving everything very quickly.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's because it's mostly war at this point, and you're like, how many seasons or how many episodes can we have of like people fighting and beating each other up? So
only 1 episode was fighting though so far.
Yeah, so of the 6, 2 have been a lot of sitting around.
First, we're just preparing for a battle.
But I don't know. I think we're probably getting into now of like, I don't like too much darkness in my stuff, and I feel like it's going to be a bit bleak for me. But
I'm more excited for the second half of the season than the first half because like I've never really cared that much about the White Walkers and the Night King. Like oh, they're dangerous.
We get barely spoiler free.
Yeah, I'm not gonna really spoil it, but like I'm more interested in like all the political stuff. So like, I'm excited to see them go up against Cersei and all of that because I like all the like plotting and scheming and like backstabbing more than like the let's fight ice zombies. It makes for an exciting battle, but not an intriguing plot.
It really did make you appreciate how much of a zombie show this really is in the battle. Okay. I'm sure I've missed some stuff, but Vanessa asks, are you guys getting Disney Plus?
I don't know.
I think I probably will.
Probably will. I think I'll see like the trailers for like the Marvel shows and maybe like initial reviews of how good they are, and then I'll see. Because the Marvel shows are the thing. Like the Disney movies, I'm like, I own a lot of them. Nah. I can like rent it from Amazon if I really want to watch something, I feel like. But like it's the original shows that I feel like will be the draw, especially the new shows. So. And like the live action Star Wars show and stuff. So
I will definitely wait to see what there is, and it's going to be a lower price point because there is a lower level of content. Like people are used to Netflix at this point, but the plus will be that I don't think Disney is going to ever put anything on that they won't keep forever. Like it won't be sibling contracts and stuff. Like this is what we got, so that'll be nice. It just they need some original content. But if the MCU shows can be like movie caliber good, I haven't loved any of the like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the smaller ones. But,
I was going to say the only MCU show I've liked so far was Agent Carter, and that one only got 2 seasons.
Yeah. So. I liked Jessica Jones. I only watched the first season, but then it got canceled, and it was kind of up in the air. I'm like, is it even worth getting caught up? It's just kind of...
Yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I've never been able to really.
Yeah.
I liked the episodes right around Winter Soldier. Those were interesting because it tied in. And outside of that, like every once in a while I'll see my husband like watching an episode and I'm like, what is happening in this show? This is so different from like the episodes I watched in season 1.
And and like, did they ever address the snap?
I don't know, because it ended, the last season ended like right before Infinity War, and the next season doesn't start until like this month. I think I looked it up to be like, did they address it? And like a lot of fans are talking about how they don't know if it's going to, like, people are like, is this going to be like an alternate universe, because it seems like they're not going to address it.
You're not going to get rid of half our cast, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I wanted to try Cloak and Dagger, I think, and Runaways. I've heard good things about, but neither of them are like super MCU tied in. They're just Marvel shows. So heard good things.
I'm interested in the Bucky and Falcon show.
I'm curious about the WandaVision one, despite the terrible name.
Set in the 50s. I'm very how does this work? And there's gonna be a Loki show, which I am excited about.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
of course.
So we'll see what is good.
Then I'll decide.
And Griswold asks, what book series do you wish you'd read sooner, and which series do you want the time you invested in it back? Good questions. I like this. There we go.
Ooh, what do I wish I did?
Like, honestly, right now, honestly, Poppy War, the one I'm reading right now, like, why was I not on this bandwagon when it first started?
Yeah. I wish I'd like read the Game of Thrones books like before the show, you know, so I could have like known what was going to happen, kind of thing. That would have been cool.
Although it seems to have made the book readers frustrated, so you're probably better off.
Yeah, seriously.
Sure, fair.
I'm reading the book so slowly that maybe he'll have the last book out by the time I get there.
I say actually 2 of my favorite books were Name of the Wind and Liza Locke Lamora, and I definitely put those off for years, and I really wish I didn't because they're some of my favorite books now.
Because Name of the Wind I'm putting off because I want it to be even close to finished. Announce the next one.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah. We have a cover for the 3rd one, but no published date. So still, I know, only 10 years.
I'll start it.
This, get your together. I know you have 2 small children, but they're like 7 or 8 now. Like, you have the time to write. Let's do it. Yeah.
For me, the one I wish I'd read sooner is one I haven't read yet because I still haven't read Strange the Dreamer, and I don't know what my problem is.
That's right. Oh, you've been saying that for like years.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I meant to read it on vacation. I still didn't.
Oh no.
I know I read like the first couple chapters and like the intro, and even in the intro, I'm like, this is beautiful and perfect. I am so in love, and I don't know what went wrong.
No, I definitely get intimidated by books, whether I think I'm going to like them or if I think I don't. I don't know. It's just weird. I haven't read actually a lot of contemporaries because I feel that way. Like, oh, am I actually going to like it? Like, is it going to live up to the hype? Like, I don't know. I'm intimidated. I guess I should buy it. And then I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. I think for the last like year or so, there's just been a lot of like choice paralysis of like, there's just too much and I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah. There's 2 books to read. I'm just not going to read any of them.
Yeah. Or I'll just reread the things I've already read 5 times. It'll be fine.
Yeah. I'm trying to think about anything that's like I've wasted my time on, but
for me, that's like everything Sarah J. Maas. I wish I could get that time
back. Okay.
A lot of it is like part of me wishes I'd never read them so that I wouldn't have had to be so disappointed because I loved the first 2 and like sort of liked the 3rd. I liked the 3rd one all right. And like so I wish I'd like saved myself the heartbreak of like hating the direction it went in, and like being so disappointed because I loved it so much and I wanted it to be what I wanted, and it was not like different from what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Like the first 2 books were the type of series I was looking for, and then it veered in a different direction.
Yeah. Well, I also just did a giant, like I did another book unhaul of all my shelves. So now I was like looking at my shelf to be like, let's see, like what do I hate on this? And then I'm like, all right, I got rid of everything, which is good, I guess.
I actually kind of have a question on that note. How did you decide what to pick? Because I'm about to like seriously unhaul because I just don't want to move things anymore. So,
I looked at stuff and I thought, would I reread this? And then if the answer was no, I got rid of it. And then also I looked at stuff being like, am I keeping it because I think I should have it, or am I keeping it because I actually liked it?
No.
Yeah. And like, so because like, I've said this before, like other times, but like I am part of a couple of advanced copy programs, and like I work with publishers, so sometimes they'll send me like advanced copies, and regardless if I liked it or not, usually I'll keep it until it's the actual release date, because I talk about it in videos, or I do like part of blog tours or whatever. So like I'll keep them to have them for later to show off. And a lot of the time, even if I just sort of liked it, I'll keep it. If I like really didn't like it, I'm like, whatever, I'll just, one of my friends will have it. But like if I semi like it, I'll keep it. And so then I have all of these books I didn't really love, but they were just okay, and they're in good condition, so why wouldn't I keep them? Yeah. And I just got like really tough with myself, being like, do I even like this book, or am I deluded myself into thinking that I like it? So I got.
It's also always an element for me of like, do I want to have this book on my, like, how much do I want to have this book on my shelf, even if it's something I might not read again, but like the cover is really beautiful, or like I liked it enough that like if someone came over, I could be like, oh, this was a really good book, So like.
Yeah,
like letting for me say like I don't really care about owning this book.
Yeah, like part of me wants to, like, if nieces or nephews in the future or friends or whatever, and like I want to be able to have anything I'd want to recommend to people, but like moving things around so I can be a free library is probably not practical. Yeah. I don't have a ton of people in my life right now who are like coming over to borrow books. My book friends are on the internet, so
yeah. Well, like also a lot of books that I did end up like that I was iffy on, and the reason I did keep them is because I had like a positive experience with them, and I liked them. So there's a couple on here that I'm like, I don't think I'd reread it anytime soon, but like I liked it enough, and I think it's unique enough to keep to for like a video at some point, or to eventually reread at some point. But so like not everything on my shelf is like a 5 out of 5. Like holy grail, every book on here, but there's definitely some that I'm like, I don't ever like, why am I like, it's pretty, but you know, like I hated it, but the cover's cool, so I should keep it. And then I'm like, no, don't do that. Like, it's just
you're just gonna look at the spine.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, well, that's, you know, not worth it.
Yeah, as like a kid, like I didn't own a ton of books, like I had a decent amount, but not a lot. And like I always was like, oh, I want to have like a library full of books, and I just want to own a lot of books. And so like I've had to like let go of part of that and be like, no, I already own a lot of books. I don't have to keep all of them anymore. You know, like where I used to be, like every book I acquired, I had to keep, and now I'm like, no, I can get rid of some because I have full bookshelves and no room for anything else.
That was definitely me as well. Like I had one like half bookshelf full until I was maybe like 16 or 17. That was like I had like 20 books and I just read them over and over and over and over again. And like I've memorized passages in some of the ones I like still kept because that was the only ones I had. And then when I like got a part-time job, had expendable income, and then also when I started working at bookstores, it just exploded. So it's like I get a discount and I make my own money. Like this is great. And so now
that was me too, for sure.
Yeah, and then I have advance copies, and oh my gosh, this is so wonderful. And then whatever. So I've had to like just rein that in. It's really difficult.
Yeah,
I just want a library ladder. That's all I want.
I just see the YouTubers with beautiful bookcases and like a wall of books, and I'd love that one day, but
I don't have room for it now.
I read mostly ebooks now. Like
and like that's great and time, you know, space.
I brought my entire library on vacation, and I didn't have to worry about anything, and it was fine. So I should get rid of things, but I don't want to.
Does it bring you joy?
Yeah, that's eventually probably what I'm gonna have to do. Vanessa asks, Emma, have you ever done a bookshelf tour?
I think so.
I feel like you have.
I have. Let me look it up.
I have not officially, but I actually, this is like the third person in like this whole last weekend that told me I need to do a bookshelf tour, so I'm gonna do it, I promise.
I love watching bookshelf tours.
Yeah, some people were like please do it on your channel. Like that's how I discover new people, is like going and seeing their bookshelf tour and like what they have on their bookshelf, and if I like what they have, then I'm gonna subscribe to them. I was like, oh, that's cool. Or so I probably should do that, especially since I got rid of so much stuff and it looks
looks like Erica did one, Aaron did one, Megan, Megan, Kaylin,
searching us all up.
Rachel did a TBR tour.
Oh, that was a long time ago, which also is very different now.
I did one.
Well, like, see, that's another thing about like
my books, but I thought I had one just with a tour of shelves.
I felt like you had one, but I'm not seeing it.
What did you call it? Something different?
No.
Well, like this is also another thing to kind of like bring us back to talking about the new changes to our channel. Is that I remember there was a time, actually I think it was before your wedding, Kelly, like the week up to when we all left to go and see you, literally every single one of us had some sort of packing related video. And so I just remember because I was looking at that the other day and it was like packing notebooks, like packing my suitcase, like things to bring to Toronto, like all this stuff. Because like we're doing the same thing. We all wanted to do the same thing. So now it was the new channel, you know, thing. We can all do that. And it's not just like a week long of the same content. Like maybe it'll be a little bit more dispersed, but we can all talk about something that we want to talk about.
Jada asks, do you guys watch a lot of TV/movies as well? Rachel has willpower. The rest of us do not.
I just don't have time. I do not watch a lot of TV.
Well, I think I found my bookshelf tour.
The shelfie one I came across.
Put it in the comments.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah. I watch a lot of TV shows. I'm kind of behind on movies. Like I'm trying to make an effort to watch more. There's so many that I like feel like I should have watched it by now, but I never find the time for. But
yeah, it's something I always feel like I should watch that. I'm like, oh, it looks so good, or so many people are talking about it. Like I should go see that, and then just never do.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of comedy shows, which like isn't what I gravitate towards in books, but for TV, I really like comedy. Part of it's that I like having like short things that I can watch during like lunch breaks or while I'm like doing something, you know, like while working out or something like that. So
I actually really want to. I really want to get into podcasts Because I'm
I
like
love
sort of into podcasts, but like I really want to get into podcasts. So like if you're watching, please leave any that you like down below. And I've heard WordNerds talk about a ton of like publishing ones and book ones. Like I have a ton written down, but like I want to like actually like go through and like listen to them instead of watching the same YouTube video like over and over again. Like because I'll put something on while I'm doing my makeup in the morning before work, or if I'm like cleaning or something, I'll be listening to something and need to branch out a little more.
Yeah.
But you can't just like put a movie on.
Yeah. Podcasts have been my I'd love to, but something's got to give. So, yeah, Jada asks, how do you have any extra time while reading all these books? It's always a balance. You end up reading less books. I can't get everything in, and that's all I want to do.
Yeah, I'm also going back to school tomorrow. So, and I just started a new job, and I'm leaving another job, but there's a lot of overlap, and then I have exams for my old school, but I'm like transferring to a new school. So there's a lot happening right now, and I don't have time for like anything. And I read on transit, and that's how it's working out right now.
Anya says, Rachel, you need to check out Alba Salek's Royal Physician. It is a fun fantasy podcast.
Ooh, okay. I will write that down.
I've been listening to David Tennant's new podcast. It's awesome.
David Tennant has a podcast?
It's called David Tennant Does a Podcast With, and then he like interviews different people. It's so good. His first one is with I'm blanking on her name. She's in Broadchurch with him, and she's going to be the queen in The Crown. Gosh, what's her name? I love her, and I suddenly am blanking.
I can see her based on the Crown thing, but
anyway, he has one with Ian McKellen, which is awesome.
Yeah. Oh, are you excited for Good Omens? I'm so excited for Good Omens. Oh my god.
I hope it's good, because like the trailer, the special effects looked really bad. Like everything else looked good about it, but the special effects looked really bad.
Oh, I thought they looked pretty like they weren't taking themselves seriously on purpose, if that makes sense.
okay.
Like I didn't think that they were like, we're so cool and wow, look at our special effects. Like I think it's because the book is pretty like whimsical and funny that I think they were like, let's just like go for it, and like let's make it look kind of weird, but like that's okay because it goes with the theme. I don't know.
That's actually really good to hear, because like American Gods lost me because all I liked were the special effects. Like it was beautiful, but I was so bored.
Really? Oh, I love American Gods. It's one of the only things I've actually watched because I love the book.
Yeah, I'd definitely rather they have like good acting and good like writing than good special effects.
Mm-hmm.
But
everyone is perfect for their roles. Everybody. I'm so excited. Such a funny book. That's another book that I wish I had read earlier, because I waited a very long time for that.
I've never been able to finish a Neil Gaiman book. I've started multiple, I've never been able to finish them.
Yeah, I haven't super gotten them into it. I listened to the audiobook of Stardust, and that's it. And it was short, so that was helpful.
Yeah, that's for sure. I've done.
And I already knew I liked the movie on that one, so
I love the movie.
Yeah, I remember I loved that movie, and then but I was also like 12, and then I found out that it was a book, and I was like, what?
Jada also recommends for writing, I love How Stories Work with Diane something or other, really excellent narrative work.
Sorry, what's it called?
How Stories Work with Diane something. Okay. Also, Anya recommended another one that I'm not even going to try to pronounce. Okay, now I'm going to try. Kalila Stormfire Economical Magical Services, a fictional podcast about witches. And
oh my god.
Comma Overkill in brackets, a fictional podcast about ghosts and supernatural. I'm very confused. Look, you can look.
I'll read the comments, yes. Thank you everyone for your suggestions.
Tangled in Words / I think that's Helen. My favorite work I've read from Gaiman so far is his Sandman series. I still haven't finished it, but it's so fascinating. I've heard such good things about all of his work. It's not my go-to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's okay. It's fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Jada says, well, this is an excellent Gaiman book. I haven't always liked Gaiman's writing, but Omens is hilarious.
Yes, it's very funny. Like it pokes fun at everything that's supposed to be really serious, especially Well, like especially when it comes to it's very like religion based, and that can be really tricky to do because it's very easy to get people offended. But I think that the way it does it is like it's so over the top that it is good. Like it's just super funny. Like I was laughing out loud, and I have not done that for a book for a very long time. So, and I read it last year, but like I wish that I had read it sooner.
Yeah. Vanessa asks, is there anything the WordNerds are looking forward to? Honestly, like in only half seriousness, I told Matt multiple times that I just need to survive to see Endgame and the end of Game of Thrones. So I'm like almost at the end of like, I need new things to look forward to.
It's true though. Like, this is it. I am very excited that Queen of Noth has been moved up to November instead of January. So definitely looking forward to that.
Sorry, you cut out at the beginning. What was that?
Oh, I'm super excited about Queen of Nothing getting moved up to November instead of January. So
I'm like, I totally
because I was
to get it for
destroyed by the end of Wicked King.
I know. Oh my god, I was like freaking the freak out. I was like, Holly Black, how dare you do that to me? I love you.
I know. I was so mad. I was like, I was so excited.
So, like that book is like the point of the whole point of like Fairy and Cruel Prince, like the whole point of it was that you can't trust anything fairies say. They're always going to be twisting their words. There's always going to be something they're not. No, I won't spoil stuff, but just like the fact that the whole series that is beaten into you. And I feel like as a, fairy book connoisseur, like I know my stuff, like, okay, like I can see how this would be twisted. I can see how this is gonna, oh, that's not what they really mean, like whatever. But there was but it still got me. I was so mad because the whole time I was like, oh, they're not going to trick me. Like, I'm going to figure this out. And then they totally did it. Oh my God. So good.
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
That I get to read the resolution sooner.
Exactly.
That's
good.
Yeah.
I'm also, if we're talking like books excited, I'm very excited for Dark Dawn, which is the third of Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. Also Deviate and Aurora Rising. So like Jay Kristoff has a good year. I'm excited for all of those.
Yeah. I guess by like not trying to start series until they're close to finish, I've kind of boxed myself in because I don't feel like there's been any books I've been super excited about for a long time. Like I'm so ready for another Harry Potter, Hunger Games, Twilight, whatever. I just want like something that I'm so pumped about. And it's just
I think like everybody's waiting for that though.
Yeah.
Like everyone is still waiting for it, and that's kind of sad.
No.
Yeah. Actually, I was watching a really interesting thing on Divergent, the series, a little while ago, and it was kind of talking about like what went wrong and like why it failed the way that it did. And a whole lot of it was because it was riding like the wave of dystopians, and that was a whole thing. There was a big theme on that. But like how people wanted it so badly, and then suddenly they just didn't, and how like that was going to be the big thing and then it wasn't, and like the movies and everything like went kind of like down the drain because like the world was ready for something big, but then it wasn't ready for something like that similar. So it's like even now people are like, what's the newest Harry Potter? Like, oh, it's Throne of Glass, but that kind of petered out, and then oh, it's the Raven Boys, but like not enough people like that one. So like, what is it? And everyone's just waiting.
Yeah, you'll know when you see it. Whenever it's here, you won't need to be told about it.
Well, like also everyone's saying it was like, oh no, what's Tony Ademi?
Children of Blood and Bone.
Thank you. That like that was going to be the next worldwide thing, and it was, but it was like that for like 2 months, and then like
it was like. Not to that level. Like, there's nothing.
Yeah, definitely not.
And I feel like part of the problem is people trying to like stick that label on things and like predict it. People are like, oh, it's going to be this thing, but like you can't. Like Harry Potter, Hunger Games, Twilight. No one expected those to be the next big thing when they came out. It was like it came out and people started reading it and talking about it and loving it. No one was saying like this is going to be the next big thing beforehand.
And like publishing houses always want to tell you that their thing is the next thing.
And I think there definitely is an issue of like too much hype for things sometimes. Like there have been books that I've been excited about, but people have like started hyping them like 6 months before they come out, and by the time it comes out, I'm tired of hearing about it. And then like the book, and I've heard it so hyped that like the book isn't as good as everyone made it sound, And like I've already seen a million memes for it before it even comes out, and like it's like too much.
Well, I'm also thinking that maybe, and kind of drawing on what you said about how like everything's hyped now to like high heaven, is that now that there's so much coming out that it's almost impossible to have that one giant hit, because when Twilight came out, when Hunger Games came out, they were kind of like the pioneers almost of like YA, like it didn't really exist. Harry Potter was like, there was a bit of a children's market, but like it wasn't that big. And so something like that in a field of like almost nothing, of course everyone's going to love it because there wasn't a lot to compare it with. But now, because they made it so big, there's so much stuff now coming out that is all being hyped. So like maybe there isn't room for something that's that big, if that makes sense. Like maybe people are not like putting all their focus into one thing. Maybe they're putting their focus into a ton of things. And maybe that would be different if there wasn't such a big saturation in the market.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I also think there have been some big books, but there just haven't been any big series. Because like obviously The Hate You Give was a big deal. And like
but
in like adult there was like yeah. And then like in adult there was like The Girl on the Train and like stuff like there have been some thrillers that have been really big lately, but there hasn't been like a big series that everyone's like waiting for the next book and like talking about like their theories. Like it's been the MCU instead. Like
yeah, exactly.
And the Game of Thrones like TV series instead of book series. So.
Yeah. So kind of a controversial question to, I guess, wrap things up or get close to it. Missy Kate wants to know, what are your thoughts on the Throne of Glass series? It's been on my radar. It's a big thumbs down from Emma.
It is. It's a double thumbs down. I'm personally not a fan anymore.
It's like half a thumb down for me. And again, like Emma said this earlier, where the first couple books were a very different series than the last few books. And I liked it because literally because of the reason that some people don't like it. Like I liked it because in each book she just expanded the world a little bit more. So she kept adding stuff in, and I really liked where that went, because first it was, magic, then it was like other kingdoms and magic and demons, and then it was like, let's add witches and let's add fairies and like let's add like more and more and more. And I really liked that. But it did get to a point, I think it was the writing that ruined it for me, because I honestly don't even know what happened with that writing, but like it was just a lot of like weird love triangles and plots that like didn't really go anywhere, and she was like trying to push people together just to like make couples. And then there was a lot of like, the last book was very anticlimactic to me, at least. I did not get the resolution that I wanted from that series. And I feel like she could have made it really bombastic, because there were multiple scenes in all her other books that were, to me, really intense, and some of my favorite like scenes of writing that I've read in fantasy that I just was so over the moon about and like really connected with and thought were emotional. But then I think because the last like 2 books didn't really have a good payoff, that's what ruined it for me. So like I can't say it's my favorite series of all time. I can say that I really liked it and I connected with parts of it, but it did sort of go downhill for me, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So like I'm like
kind
I'm
of
not
like
like that, but I'm like this.
I sometimes kind of feel like she kind of like lost the thread. Like I don't know. It just felt like it because like I didn't mind that the world expanded. I like when books do that, when like the world gets bigger and you discover more of it. But it just felt like the overarching plot and like the point of the books just kind of like veered off and the character veered off in a direction I wasn't interested in. I did not like once she became Aelin instead of Selena. I hated that. Like,
wow, spoilers, but like
yeah. Well, if you don't know what those names mean, it's not really a spoiler.
Yeah.
Also, the third book's been out, or the second book's been out for forever. But but yeah, like I felt like it just like went off in not the direction she originally started in.
Yeah.
So,
I think originally it was pitched as like what was like a Cinderella with assassins, and I was like, hell yeah, okay. And then it was like more fantasy, and I was like, okay. And then it was like weird. Yeah, it was weird.
And there's all the Fae stuff came in, and I like Fae books. But like it wasn't what I thought that series was going to be. Like I don't know. I felt like and a lot of times it became too similar to her other series, and I was like, no, I want these to be separate. Like it was like, the Fae were really popular in her other series, so suddenly they're a big deal in this one, and I was like, okay.
Honestly, like that series, everything with Endgame, all of Game of Thrones, it's really making me appreciate more how much I want to get better at plotting and like really plot a series from beginning to end, and like work as much as I can into book one for payoff later. Like, I feel like that's how you get to something really fantastic. But obviously not for everybody, but like, I really appreciate now any kind of story that takes the time to know where it's going from the beginning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's also difficult too, because sometimes, and sometimes it's not the author's fault. It's the publishers being like, we want more of this, or we think it would sell better if you did that, or whatever. But yeah, it'd be nice to, or even like fans, being like, oh, I'm going to buckle to the pressure of fans saying that they want these people to end up together or whatever. And I felt like that in some series before.
Mm-hmm.
But
I feel like it's typically not too much of a publisher thing. Because I mean, as an author, you can always say, like, you can always push back as an author and say, like, no, that's not what this story is, and like, I don't know. I sometimes, like, I think there's like a tendency to be like, oh, this thing I didn't like, obviously the publisher pushed it, and I really think that it is,
Yeah.
But especially when it's a big series, like, a publisher's not going to tell
Yeah.
a really successful author what they have to do.
And like, when you're at the beginning, you don't know if you're going to get a series, and you still need that, like, I have to wrap it up in book one, but with potential, which is really annoying. And it like isn't going to get you, I guess Harry Potter kind of did it. Like, it could have just stopped after one, I guess. But okay, so a more upbeat question to wrap things up. This is going to be the last question of the night, because Game of Thrones is coming. Vanessa asks, what is your favorite series of all time?
Oh my gosh.
Probably Darker Shade of Magic by B.E. Schwab.
So good.
That's my answer to everything. Also, if Rothfuss would freaking finish his third book, Name of the Wind. Love that.
Is that one only supposed to be 3?
There's 3, yes.
So once it's 3, I can read it?
Yes, but the third one's been on hold for like 10 years, so we don't know.
But there won't be more after that, though.
As far as I know, no.
Okay. Actually, kind of interesting tying into the Sarah J. Maas stuff. My favorite series of all time is the Black Jewels trilogy by Anne Bishop, and I recently stumbled into this really in-depth video. Apparently, Anne Bishop is and this series is one of Sarah J. Maas's favorites, and she like blatantly rips stuff off in the Court of Thorns and Roses books. Like, she uses some of the like world building terminology that's in those books, and like, I don't know, I haven't read any of them, I don't know how closely it correlates, but like, this blogger like was going into detail of like, these things are too similar, and she said it's one of her favorite authors, and
okay.
So I was like,
oh my goodness, what's happening? There is a very high pitch that just happened.
You suddenly just turned into like a high pitch, like.
That's how I feel.
Actually, I remember hearing you say that about that series in one of the videos that you did, I think like a couple weeks ago. You're talking about like your favorite books of all time, and I was like, that sounds interesting. So if you're mentioning it again, I'll add it to Goodreads.
I think probably one of my favorite series is Megan Whalen Turner's Queen's Thief series. Which that's something I'm looking forward to. Is the final book is finally coming out next year, and I'm very excited for it to all wrap up. But I love those books so much.
I read the first one, and I know I'm supposed to like push through to the second one, but I haven't.
The one's even better.
That's so interesting, because like I thought that series was so boring.
I love it so much. I'm all about like political scheming and like, something more is going on than what's on the page, and you like it doesn't all come together until the end, and then you can look back and see like how it all came together and all the clues.
Oh yeah,
I love that, and that's what she does really well. So.
And I love that too, so I should try. All right, so I guess we will wrap things up here, and for the first time, we're going to not say that we'll be back with videos every day this week, because we won't be. So we will be back with videos on Tuesday and Thursday. And Tuesday will be just kind of here's what's happening. And then from there, just on to our new business as usual. But thank you so much for joining us tonight. This was a lot of fun. Now I'm going to go watch Game of Thrones, and we're just going to hope for the best in this next week. We hope you all enjoy what we have planned for you, and that you like it as much as we do. I think it's going to be very, very exciting, and can't wait to see what comes next. So we will see you all next time. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.